All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to work on this Plomb, this pebbled Plomb. It's a 5249. I like these. I think these are precursor to the Proto. Anyways, really nothing wrong with it. Just needs to be cleaned up, and I'm gonna try to give this a good polish. I'm hoping the metal on this polishes good. It has a texture there and there, and it looks like it was clean polished there. It may be there. Anyways, let's take this thing apart and see what we got inside. It's probably dry as a bone. Screws got a bunch of dirt in them, so we'll take care of that when we put it back together. Well, see if I can poke through it there. There it goes. Oh yeah. These are real basic design. And a lot of you guys know this. There's some of you that probably don't. But if you find these Proto ratchets, or I think Stanley back in the day made one, they're real simple design. You got two paws, left and right. When you activate the lever, it flips it. Oh, here. See? Real simple. You got a spring on either side of it, and the selector switch just cams. See? Real easy. These are probably some of the easiest ratchets to work on. They are so simple. Clean the inside of them, use some grease, or 3-in-1. You can use whatever you want. I mean, some people say you have to have so-and-so. No, it doesn't matter. I could see it if you're in a dirt environment and you get a lot of debris and stuff in it. Part of our county's got a lot of sand, and if you leave your tools outside in the sand, okay, take it apart, clean it once in a while. Grease will hold the sand. Oil will probably be better, but use what you like. Use what you're comfortable with. You don't have to do what anybody tells you. Everybody has something different. It's real simple, take apart just like that. Let me get my little custom made needle nose here. Normally what I do, just lift it out like that, see? That paw just lifts right out. Spring is stuck on the grease there. There's old dry grease in there. See that? Just lift it out. Let me move the paw. I'm gonna slide the paw over to the other side, release pressure on it. Slides right out, that's it. Comes apart. Now you can grind this off, or, well, I wouldn't say grind it off, but you can, let's pick here. You can do a little dremeling on the outside edges right here. They peen this over at the factory, and that's what's holding this lever on. You don't have to. Just leave it together and clean it up real good. You see a lot of grease in there. I thought that was dented, but it's just grease. Look at the big clumps, the thick, old dry grease in there. That's all that is there. Just old dry grease. Actually, it looks like wheel bearing grease. Old. Trying to remember what brand. Might have been Roberts. I don't remember what company made that. Imperial? Anyways, that's it. Nothing to it. So normally what I do, I just get it out here a little bit. All right, guys, I love my carburetor cleaner. Sorry, I buy the Walmart stuff. I use it for everything. That Walmart cleaner, that carburetor cleaner is my go-to for everything. I can clean commercial grade wallpaper with vinyl. not paper, vinyl wallpaper with carburetor cleaner. If somebody puts graffiti on it, I got a can of gum out at work. That's what I use. You just got to know how to do it without taking the color off the paper. Use it for a little bit of everything. Look at that. Man, that grease. Look at all that's coming out of there. That's nothing but just old dry grease. This thing saw a little bit of action, but it wasn't bad. I've seen a whole lot worse. Let's see. It's just a little wire brush. Then I got my little, I did have a little toothbrush up here. There it is. I knew I had one. I'll take a Dremel tool and kind of lightly wire wheel polish the inside. Oh yeah, it's cleaning up real nice. Like a chunk of grease, right? Yep, that's what it is. Just a chunk of grease. I think I paid $10 for this thing, which if you want a good used ratchet, this style of ratchet, it's good to have because they're easy to repair, easy to work on. They don't make, well, I'll say that. I better not say that. They don't make parts for these, but some of the newer style Craftsman or some of the older style Craftsman will fit in these because Proto made Craftsman. For those of you that don't know, Craftsman never made tools. I run across people, I'm surprised they know that. Craftsman never made tool. All Craftsman tools were contracted out. For that matter, Sears never made anything. They didn't make furniture, they didn't make washing machines or dryers. That's all contract. All right, yeah, look at that. That's gonna clean up nice. I just want to see, I wanted to see the damage, if there's any damage on one of these before I go to the Dremel tool. We can see some wear marks. Look real closely. See the shiny spot right there? That's what landed up against the gear. And that's a real good fit right there. It's not damaged, no teeth are damaged. I mean, look at that gear. Look, I mean, you've got to put a lot of torque. I watched a YouTube video where a guy puts like 150, 180 pounds of torque, foot-pounds before one of these broke. It may even been more than that. First of all, he was using a cheater bar and torquing it like that. Most people are going to use a wrench. Okay, 99% of the people are going to be using a wrench like that. This is how they're just going to use it regularly. Very few people, if you have to put a cheater bar on the end of this, you're either, I hate to say stupid, or you're in a bind and you just can't find a proper tool to work with. I just can't. I've learned over the years tools are valuable and you take care of them, and when you start putting cheater bars on the end of these things, go get the right tool. If you can't afford it, I guess you got to do what you got to do. But man, I hate destroying a tool, especially when that tool makes you money or saves you money. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look how clean that gets. You can see the tool marking from factory marking in there. You can see that. That's tooling for when this is one piece of metal and it just grinds it down and makes that. You can see the ridges on the inside from the tooling marks from when this was made. I mean, just look, I mean, most people don't pay attention to it, but I do. I think it's fascinating to see how thick the metal, how they tooled it, how they made it. It's pretty cool to me. But there you go. That's all there is to it. I mean, the rest of this I'll clean with a brush and some carburetor cleaner. The springs I'm careful, matter of fact, before I lose them. Normally, I put the springs on the magnet so I don't lose them, which I have lost them before. But I'll clean this stuff up with carburetor cleaner. Put this on the polisher. I might put this on the fiber wheel just to clean some of this up. This is where probably sat in the toolbox and rubbed. It doesn't look like anybody really beat on the handle very much, so that was good. We'll see, let me finish cleaning this up with carburetor cleaner and we'll go to the fiber wheel and the polisher. Okay, trying to show you what I'm gonna do on this. I'm gonna hit around the head with the fiber wheel. And all this I call it a Scotch-Brite wheel. It looks like Scotch-Brite material glued together to make a wheel. At one time, this was an 8-inch wheel. And I've used it and wore it down. It polishes. It's probably, I think one was a 600 grit, one was a 400 grit. I don't remember which one's which. I just use it. Just want to show you, see what it does. I'll hit this side. See that? I don't want to take any metal, really. I mean, I could go over, put this on the belt sander and sand this down. I don't want to. One, I don't want to put that much work into it. Two, it's a good used tool. And I don't care for a little character. These are not pieces of art to me. These are work. I use them. So just a little bit of effort, doesn't take much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to edit this part. I'm going to leave it in that range of time, but just wanted to show you that's what the fiber wheel does. I mean, it's not polished by any means, but it does brighten up the metal. And then I'm just going to go over here to the polisher and start polishing the parts I just hit on the fiber wheel. All right. I know every once in a while I get a question about what I have here. Nothing fancy. Cheap Harbor Freight motor. It's a buffing wheel motor. I got one new, and then everything else is used that I use. So what I got here it was an 8-inch wheel, and it's a cloth wheel. It's stitched about every ½ inch or every ¼ inch, and over time you wear it down to the stitch. This wheel was like this. I got it down to a certain point. I just pulled all the stitches out. I use this just to buff. I use this with the media. I put it on there, and then I polish, and then when I get to a certain point, I come over here and polish it off just to see what it looks like. I use black or gray, whatever Harbor Freight sells. I do have different brands. This is a red I use. And then I have a red Rouge from this company. I've had quite a bit of this stuff. I can't tell that much of a difference. I just use the Harbor Freight because it's local. But anyways, I'll start the exhaust fan and I'll fire this thing up, and then we'll get after it. I just wanted to show you that's real time. That's what a little bit, just that few minutes of polishing will do. And I still need to hit it a little better. I can see a little spot there that I need to hit, and a couple spots right there. And I haven't even touched this top of it. All right, guys, got it polished. Yeah, not the best, but pretty good. Now you got to clean off the polishing compound. Some of it gets in the cracks and crevices. See the little black, see that? That's polishing compound. And you really need to get all that cleaned out. Yeah, see, it gets in there. I use carburetor cleaner, it kind of melts it, makes it soft. Yeah. I'm getting hungry. I need to eat something. I want to finish this before we got an event to go to. A young lady we know needs a kidney transplant, so they got a fundraiser, so that's where we're going to today. Yeah, this is going to turn out nice. Clean this stuff off here. All right. And my hands are filthy. All right. Real easy to put together and take apart. Let me grab the springs. We rinse them off real quick. Okay. Springs right there. What you do when you put one of these together, you select your switch left or right. See the little notch? See that? Put that in there. That in. Let's flip this over. Come on. I want it this way, and then I want it that way, and that goes in there. See? Switch. See how that goes together? Real simple. Nothing hard. Now I don't have the springs in there, but I just wanted to put it together just to show you. And then I'm going to slather just a little bit of grease in there. I've got this Mobile One stuff that I use. And you can use whatever you want. If you're comfortable with, I can't even remember the brand that Snap-on uses, but you can use that. You can use wheel bearing grease for that matter. I mean, these don't turn at 3,400 RPM, so this grease that I'm using is way more than needed. You can see the little mark. You can see where the spring, the small part of the spring rode there. Slide it there. Hope these aren't too magnetized. They might, these little pliers have magnetism to it. Now I'm going to slide that over. Put that right there. I'm going to use my finger to drop the spring in there. See? See that? See how simple design? Look at there. Now, if you're not comfortable, if you're not somewhere where you got a dirt floor or shop that has broken concrete or something, do this in one of those big gallon Ziploc bags, and you can see what you're doing, and you won't lose anything. Now, I've already got grease around the ring down here, so I'm just gonna. Here, let's do this. A little bit of grease, and I'm going to grease the gears, just a little. Like I said, you can use whatever you like. Oh my God, everybody's got an opinion on oil or something. If you're comfortable with 3-in-1 oil, use it. If you're comfortable with 30 weight oil, use it. It's not like you're going to put you're not going to be turning this at an RPM to damage the gear. If you damage the gear, it's because you're putting so much stress from torque, not from spinning. Normally what I do, half inch, set it halfway, see there? Halfway, then the gear just drops in. If not, it interferes. See how I moved it over? Now I didn't polish this or anything, but what I'm going to do, since there is a little metal to metal contact, I'm going to put a little bit of grease like this. Just like that. So when this ring sits down, you can see where the metal contact was? Just like, oops, just like that. Nothing big. Switches back and forth, see? Now, see these holes right here? Back in the day, they were oil holes. You can drop some oil back. In the day, they recommended you drop 30 weight oil in these. So for you hardcore people out there that believe, oh, you got to have a certain, I don't know when you were born, but my dad back in the day dropped oil in them, 30 weight oil. Now I will put a little bit of Loctite on these screws, only because that's me. Drop it down in there, and I clean the heads of the screw off. Stupid screws were packed full of dirt and grease. Oh, sweet action now, guys. You have no idea. I got me a nice tool for 10 bucks. I'm pretty sure that's what I got in. I bought this, I believe, down at Texas at the Bowie flea market, or the Bowie trade days, whatever they want to call themselves. All right, this is a cleaner wax. I use Mother's. It's I use it for everything, glass, plastic, you name it. It'll take whatever residue, anything that's left, it'll go ahead and clean it off. See, the little bit of black, there's a little bit on the pebbled stuff. I'll just wax it, the whole thing. And the wax, all it does is good for, one, it helps clean any residue. See, still got stuff. Any residue of that cleaner, the polisher that's on it. And also, if water gets on it or liquid of some kind, it repels it. Plus it helps clean it up, shines it. Before I go any further, let me drop where my dropper is. I just want to drop a little drop of oil in that detent. I do it on all of them, just in case. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what these cost. I haven't even looked them up. I know people do like these because of the pebbled. But check that out. I present you a Plomb 3/8 ratchet, 5249. Now I did not polish this part of it. Didn't really need to, I don't think, and I didn't polish this part of it. But I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it looks good. And I just wanted to show you that a cheap little tool, man, I got the hiccups today, sorry. A cheap little tool like this for 10 bucks, I mean, it's a good used tool. Yeah, it doesn't have a thumb release, and yes, it's not a 14-inch long one, but I don't know too many people, see it's 7-inch. I don't know too many people that need professional, high-end tools, which this thing here is probably 60, 70, 75 years old, still usable, still functional. Probably a better quality grade steel, and I guarantee you this steel was manufactured in the USA. And for those of you that like Snap-on, try to get hold of Snap-on and ask them where they bought their steel to make the tool you are using right now today. It's overseas steel. So for those of you who think you got American made, you got American made all right, and it's overseas steel. So I hate people when they get on their big kicks about that. But this is old quality here. This is durable, usable. It'll last the rest of my lifetime. I do have too many of these ratchets, but they're good to have. Matter of fact, let me grab a proto and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, just to show you, here's a proto, 5249BL. These parts will interchange. Here's another, this is a proto, 5249. No BL, no nothing. But the internals, the design, here you go, here's a Craftsman. They're the same. These parts, it's a pear shape. Here's a Mac. It's a pear shape. It has the same design. The springs are different in this one, but it's the same design. This is a Fleet. Same, here again, same way. And then here, I got a Snap-on. FV71M. Same design. There's 2 springs, 2 dogs, and a big gear. That's it. It's a very simple design, very usable. I don't think any of mine have a thumb release on them. I thought I had one, but I don't. But, you know, this is older. This is Plomb. Plomb was before Proto. They got sued by the other Plomb company, spelt with an O, and they had to change, and they went to Proto, which means professional tool, if you guys didn't know that. Proto means professional tool. But yeah, same design, real easy to work on. So if you run across one of these, pick it up. It's very easy to rebuild. Matter of fact, almost every company makes a rebuild kit for these. So if you find one that's rusted or the springs broke, I found one with the spring was broke, or it was rusted in two is what. And then I found one that was one of the gear, the big gear, the anvil part of the gear was broke. And there again, somebody probably used a cheater bar on it. But, you know, check that out, $10. That is just a great tool to own. And if you find it, buy it. It's worth the money. Even if you have one, an extra, I actually have I have this Proto at work. I have 2 of these at work I use all the time. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, give me thumbs up, thumbs down. I hope you liked my video. I tried to show, you know, bringing back to life a good usable tool, and it's worthy of taking your time and cleaning it up, especially for you guys that are tight on money and thinking you have to buy new tools. Don't. Take your time. Make friends with pawn shops, flea markets, estate sale people that have estate sales. Just talk to them. I like talking, I like negotiating, so I usually can come out with a good deal. And for those of you guys, you know, that you can't negotiate, try it. It's your money in your pocket. If they don't want it, they don't want it. If they do, they'll buy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Subscribe if you would. If not, well, I'm glad you watched. I hope you learned something. My little redneck self this is what I do, clean my tools. All right, bye.